Oh, ho, ho, yeah, chat. We are back and ready to go. We are in the new domicile. The rig is put together. And as it turns out, the internet signal is much improved. I found this out in case you missed it on a test stream earlier today. And thanks to you loyal members of the community. So, for those of you who were there helping me out, thank you very much. Hopefully, I see you again in this one. For those who weren't, that's cool. Not everyone's available all the time. If you're here now, whether you're going to be active in the chat or lurking, awesome. If you're here for the replay, awesome. I got a good one for you tonight. Lots and lots of Superman / DC talk. That's pretty much it. Ain't shit going on with Marvel right now. So, but Superman, like last Wednesday, Fantastic Four was the news of the day. This Wednesday, it is the son of Krypton, Kal-El. It's all about him today, folks. We'll be getting into it. But in the meantime, you know what to do. You fill your cup. You light that smoke. Lean on back and get ready. Because it is time on this here Wednesday night in the basement. It is time to get nerdy. As I was saying, thank you, Alan. Welcome into this Wednesday night stream, everybody. I am so glad to see you all here. Spicy Dan, Brooke, and Alan. Welcome. Anyone who's lurking, welcome. If you're here on the replay, welcome. I really appreciate y'all being here. And Spicy Dan, you are absolutely correct. Eyeliner does make my eyes pop. I already know this. So, I may, probably not, but, you know, if occasion demands, I will incorporate it on stream. I ain't scared. I am not scared in the slightest. So, yeah, as you can see, different room. I don't have a tapestry or any kind of background up yet. This is just the wall. But yeah, a couple minor adjustments to the rig. Stuff's in a little bit different spot on the desk. Switch the side my mic's on. It's over here now instead of here where it was. Now this is still not the final place of setup. On the other side of this wall is Mrs. Chillin's dad's radio room that he doesn't really use. So over time we'll clean that out, and then when that's ready to go, this is going in there. I will have something akin to a small office, which I'm very much looking forward to. But in the meantime, in between time, we are right here in mine and Mrs. Chillin's new digs. And we're pretty satisfied with things. How are you guys doing? How is chat? How are the lurkers? How are you on the replay? I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing pretty okie dokie. Yeah, this is hilarious. Daniel Fisher, you did make it. What's up? So if you were not helping me out earlier, you'd be interested to know, or maybe not, but I'm fucking telling you anyway. So at our last place with the kids, I actually had an Ethernet cord that ran directly from the modem to the tower of my computer, right? So, and now when we moved here, there's really no convenient way to run an Ethernet cord from the modem to the tower of the computer. I feel the need to delineate tower of the computer because most of us are nerd ventures, so most of the time when we use the word tower, we're talking about the Nerd Ventures tower and not like our computer tower per se. So, anyway, so there was no real convenient way, and then my father-in-law suggested this little kind of thumbnail Wi-Fi receiver thing. Thumbnail. It's a little USB Wi-Fi receiver thing, right? So he was kind enough to go pick me one up, and so we put it in, tested everything out, and turns out this little, this little Wi-Fi dealy thing is like giving me much better signal than the direct line Ethernet cord did. Again, thanks to chat, I believe I figured out why that is. And that is because I needed a super long Ethernet cord. And I think it was Spicy Dan pointed out, the longer the cord, the greater the chance of signal degradation. And when you couple that with the fact that I got one that was, well, to be polite, affordable, but to be real, fucking cheap. Turns out that wasn't even with a direct line to the Wi-Fi, it wasn't that great. Now I'm using this little USB Wi-Fi thing, and the signal is very much better. And again, I verified that in the test stream earlier today. So hopefully, you guys notice the change. Hopefully you're happy with the change. I do still need to work on the lighting. Obviously, it's a little weird. You can see the computer in my glasses, and it's not super bright. So, still got to work on that just a little bit. But, I mean, there's enough working for us to be rolling. So here we are. And I am excited to hang out with you guys tonight and talk some Superman. There's a lot of Superman news to talk about. It's good. Excellent. Good. Or was that was that more from what's that damn movie? Bruce Almighty. Good. Which direction were you going with that, Daniel? Palpatine or Bruce Almighty? Good. Or good. The Force is strong. Ding ding Almighty. Nice. Damn, I lost a subscriber. I wonder if someone decided to legit quit me or if it was an old account that YouTube likes to delete. Actually, I don't know. I know I've brought this up, but I'm going to say it again. Every time I land on an even multiple of 10, I always end up getting dinged a subscriber or two. And honestly, I sat at 270 way longer than I sat at 260 before I got bumped down to somehow to 259 or 258. It literally dropped between the test stream earlier and now. Kind of funny, actually. But you know, so if you're watching, first of all, everyone who's watching, whether live or on the replay, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. It tells YouTube that, you think I'm at least marginally cool, and thusly they will hopefully push my shit out more. Now, that's for everybody. The like button's for everybody. Now, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and please hit the notification bell so you know whenever anything is going on. Also, a little bit earlier, Brooke was kind enough to drop my Discord link into the chat. So I highly recommend you also join the Discord, mostly because even though I stream on YouTube and I have fun on YouTube and I watch a shit ton of YouTube, let's be real, it has its flaws. And one of those flaws is a somewhat glitchy notification system. And 99.9% of the time, I always throw a link to the stream into the Discord channel. And I, of course, at everyone who's in the channel. So on the whole, as long as I'm doing my part, Discord notifications are much more reliable than YouTube. So you should also join the Discord, please. And merci. So what's up with you, Chad? Anything new? Oh, you got to drive home from work? Nice. Be safe, Brooke. Be safe. So, anything new with you guys, chat? Anything fun? Anything interesting? Hopefully nothing tragic. Speaking of tragic, just real quick. I know this is primarily a nerdy news channel, but if you are into music at all, and you did not hear, Brian Wilson, co-founder of the Beach Boys, sadly passed away today. That's a bummer. I mean, the Beach Boys are fucking icons. Brian Wilson, in and of himself, is a music icon. Even his daughters had their moment in the sun as part of the trio Wilson Phillips. So, massive contributor to music for when the Beach Boys come out, late 50s, early 60s. So, yeah, like 60 plus years. And then also, if you were around and able to watch TV in the 90s and 2000s, then you know who Ananda Lewis is. And she also sadly lost her battle with breast cancer today. So, RIP to a musical legend and, at least for her time, a pop culture legend. She was big on the MTV. I remember quite clearly. As soon as I saw her face, I was like, oh, yeah, that chick. Oh, damn. You gone. That sucks. What about you, chat? Let me know how you're doing. And then we shall get into the all that is Superman. But, oh, my God, Daniel. Oh, my God. Bro. Oh, I love the dark humor. That's fucking good. Maybe a little too soon, but that was good. That was fucking good, bro. Holy shit. Damn. Right where credit's due, though. That was pretty freaking clever. That was pretty freaking clever. My God. I gotta figure this boom thing out, though. It's getting on my damn nerves. It's gonna turn into Josh. One little thing gonna have me tripping the whole goddamn stream. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sly Stone a couple days ago. Or was it yesterday? Within the last couple days. Yeah, Sly Stone from Sly and the Family Stone. 70s funk / disco icons. Yeah, it has not been a good week for music / pop culture. I mean, Ananda was on MTV, so I guess you could say it's not been a good week for music culture overall. She wasn't a musician herself that I can recall, but she was all over MTV, left, right, and center. So close enough for me. Music culture lost a trio this so far this week. And it's only fucking Wednesday. Hopefully the rest of the week can go without too much more tragedy happening. Hopefully. Hopefully. All right. You guys ready to get into this mess? I'm ready to get into this mess. Oh, and in case you're wondering, granted, it's the black one. Because the black super suit is still my favorite. I don't care. And not just because they used it in the Snyder cut. The black super suit from the new 52 is fucking sick. Okay? It's just sick. Anyway. Oh wow, that is really lighting up my face weird with the white screen on. Why aren't you in dark mode? Why aren't you in dark mode, you mother... Oh well, anyway. Oh, yep, Daniel's back, all right. The clever use of one comma and instant dad joke. Well done, sir. Well done. Okay. So, let us begin with this rather large article that came out earlier this week in Entertainment Weekly. Many quotes, good God, many quotes were gleaned from this article. But we are going to go over it in depth. So the article is entitled Superman Lights the Way. How Hollywood's new Man of Steel shepherds the DC Universe of tomorrow. Exclusive. 10 of DC's superstars, including David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, and director James Gunn, take EW inside the first feature film of the newly revamped franchise. The hell did it go? Oh. I thought I was in the article itself. Okay, so there's this flipping video at the beginning. We have a Corenswet. We have a Holt. We have, I don't know. I think that's Hot Girl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Gunn, Lois Lane. Can't remember her character name. Oh no, that's Hot Girl right there. It's Isabella Merced. Wow. And of course Nathan Fillion. And everyone against Crypto. James Gunn is going so hard after those family bucks. Okay. Here we go. The actual article instead of just the headline that I should have clicked on in the first place. I promise I have actually done this once or twice before. But, no one's perfect. Anyway. David Corenswet looks like just about any of Hollywood's past Supermen in the right light. In particular, he often gets the Henry Cavill comparison. At least when we first saw his face, he did look like a younger Henry Cavill. And it's easy to see how merely a thin layer of finely shaped scruff alone highlights his dimples and pronounced jawline to resemble the last cinematic incarnation of DC's Clark Kent, Kal-El, defined by Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. At Entertainment Weekly's cover shoot at East End Studios in Glendale, California, the 6'4" Corenswet, Jesus, I didn't realize he was that big. I mean, I knew he was big from the trailers. He was head and shoulders above everybody, but damn! Corenswet certainly looks the part in an electric blue suit, which is still effing ugly. I don't care what they do to it, short of a complete redesign. I don't like that suit. He towers over Kristen Shaw, the groomer tasked with curl duty, making sure his classic Clark Kent hair curl remains properly perky for the cameras. The formerly svelte star of Hollywood and the Politician also now has a comparable frame to Cavill, the product of hitting the gym for months before shooting his leading role in James Gunn's Superman, which marks a fresh start for DC's Kryptonian Strongman. Okay, a lot of physical comparisons. Don't care. That's good shit. Oh wow, Rachel Brosnahan is only 5'3". Good God, he is 13 inches taller than Rachel Brosnahan. That's crazy. Don't care about what music they're listening to. Okay, blah blah blah. Interesting. Okay. All right, now we're getting into some stuff. All right. Despite this amalgamation of Supermen from yesteryears, just talking about how they all kind of blend together in Corn Sweat and gives a crap, global audiences have already started to see Corn Sweat as the Superman of tomorrow, as he leads the first theatrical film for a new dawn in the superhero franchise. When Gunn was hired to take the helm of DC Studios with his longtime collaborator Peter Safran, Safran handles more of the business side while Gunn shepherds the creative. And Safran was their last choice, and they didn't even want Gunn. Safran talked him into it. Let's just remember this. This dynamic duo gave the brand a reset, building a new DC universe from the ground up that could rival, say, Gunn's previous collaborators at Marvel. It potentially could, yes, with a series of interconnected films and TV shows for years to come. Last year's Creature Commandos on Max, soon to be renamed HBO Max, one of the many weird-ass, silly-ass decisions Warner Brothers has been making lately, was technically the first project within this initial phase of the new DCU, which has been dubbed Gods and Monsters. But Gunn says the animated series is not necessarily crucial to this larger storytelling plan. The events of Superman, as well as this fall's Peacemaker Season 2, however, are, quote, both pretty important in terms of getting to the bigger story, he said. Warner Brothers initially offered Gunn Superman prior to directing 2021's The Suicide Squad back in the previous era of DC storytelling. Yeah, she did Superman to The Suicide Squad for sure. Even then, before plans were firmly in place, the studio wanted a new actor to play Superman after Cavill, so it was even more messy than it is now, Gunn says. But more importantly, he adds, I didn't have that special idea of what that film would be. He does now. Over the years, the stories that I've told have gotten more, how to say it, less in your face, explains the director who made a name for himself with the indie horror comedy Slither and a dark vision of masked heroes with Super before joining Marvel to make Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I wanted to tell the story about someone who is truly good in a world that doesn't value goodness, in a world that makes fun of basic kindness and basic human values. The fact that he can fly and lift buildings and shoot laser beams out of his eyes was really secondary to who he was as a person and what he stood for. Here. Okay, this is interesting. Speaking of their first scene and stuff, we're meeting them at a point where they've been together for, well, okay. Is that their first scene? Visit Brain Shot was a sequence. Okay, she and Corn Sweat knew intimately, a scene they performed for the chemistry test that landed them the parts. Well, that's good. In the summer of 2023, it was down to 3 actors for each role. Bridgerton's Phoebe Dynevor and Sex Education's Emma Mackey were in the running with Brosnahan, while Bridge stars Tom Brittney, Greyhound, and Nicholas Hoult, who would instead land the role of Superman's arch-villain Lex Luthor, were up for the titular lead. It's a meaty scene, about 10 to 12 pages worth of script. Wow, that... A page of script generally equates to 1 minute of movie time. So a 2-hour movie should have right around 120-page script. So that is a meaty scene. That's like, this is supposed to be what, a 2-hour and 4-minute movie or something? So that's a decent chunk. Which Lois arrives at her apartment to find her boyfriend Clark Kent attempting, rather poorly, to cook an anniversary meal. Their playful banter highlights their romantic chemistry, but also how they challenge each other. We're meeting them at a point where they've been together for about 3 months, Brosnahan notes, which is the point in a relationship where you're like, was this really a great fling, or is this more serious, possibly forever? Lois gives Clark grief for the ethical breaches of his recent Daily Planet pieces, exclusive interviews he conducted with Superman, though they both know full well that Clark is Superman. Okay, so here's where we get that part in the trailer. So he offers her an alternative. She can interview him as the Man of Steel instead. What he thinks might be a fun bonding moment backfires spectacularly as Lois, who comes alive when presented with a juicy story, jumps at the chance to ask Superman hard-hitting question on the record. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Oh, interesting. In this world, here's where we get to some stuff. In this world, humanity has been clued into the existence of metahumans, i.e., superpowered individuals, for 300 years. Really? Okay. So in the new DCU, humanity has known about metahumans since the early 1700s. If you saw a shark man walking down the street, you'd probably vomit and shit yourself to death, he says. If they saw one, i.e., people from back in the day, it would be more like if you saw Paul McCartney on the sidewalk in New York. Don't understand that, but okay. It's a world that includes the Justice Gang. God, I fucking hate that name. A super trio comprised of Hawkgirl, Kendra Saunders, The Last of Us, Isabella Merced, Green Lantern / Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion, and Mr. Terrific, a.k.a. Michael Holt, Ed Gatiji. Gatiji? Edie Gatiji? Is that it? But they went corporate. Maxwell Lord, played by Gunn's brother Sean, the head of Lord Tech and one of multiple tech billionaires in this world, is their backer. They're good. They just are not saintly, Gunn says of the team. Okay, it's also a world that often has a problem with someone like Superman. He's virtually all-powerful, so it's a challenge to physically stop him. The combination of his upbringing in rural town Smallville and the dying wish of his Kryptonian parents to safeguard humanity forms Clark's firm ideals about bettering civilization. Okay, real quick, chat. That sentence, if 100% accurate, pretty much kills the Viltrumite rumor. This appears to be sticking to the normal. Krypton's about to blow the hell up. Let's send him to Earth so he can be awesome. As opposed to the rumor that Jor-El sent him here to conquer. So it appears that rumor is complete bullshit. Hopefully that is true of hashtag supershit as well. The dying wish of his Kryptonian parents to safeguard humanity forms Clark's firm ideals about bettering civilization. No corporation or government can taint them, which leads us to why Lois is eager to grill Superman. In the film, he decides to save civilians caught in a conflict between Baravia and Jarhanpur, fictional nations from DC Comics, which causes an international incident and earns him the ire of a White House that sees Superman as an American asset gone rogue. She's ambitious and hungry, Brosnan comments, and I think in that moment she sees an opportunity for a front-page story. Now that is very much Lois Lane. Lois Lane is a go-getter. She takes no shizzle, and when she wants a story, she fucking gets that story. For the most part. In many occasions to the detriment of her, to the potential detriment of her own personal health. Okay, so this this is interesting. In many ways, this apartment scene where Clark Kal-El defends those ideals to Lois defines this generation's incarnations of these characters. While the Titan from Krypton can often seem stoic and deified, Hornsweat Kal-El can be quite passionate about his views and express them loudly. I had the same ideas about Superman, that he's quite reserved and has ultimate control over his emotions and reactions to things. I was very excited when James said all of that is true about Superman, but we get to meet him in this moment where those things are least true. That's where he's a little bit of Superman, he's a little bit of Clark, because the only other person in the room knows who he is and holds all the cards. Brosnahan describes Lois as someone who questions everything and everyone by nature. Sounds about right. While Clark Superman sees the beauty in people first and trusts implicitly. It sometimes puts them at odds with each other about the way they should approach the world. Okay. Okay, this is an interesting interesting. It's only in his scenes with his co-stars, particularly Brosnan, that Cornsweet truly finds the specifics of his character. There are the main Superman and Clark Kent personas that he shows the public, but, Cornsweet explains, we also had this third character of who Clark is when he's in a room with somebody who knows both sides of him. He's not really playing the character of Superman, but he's also not really playing the role of Clark either. It's a personality that only comes out with his parents and with Lois once she really gets to know everything about him. And that makes total sense. Oh, what the? Okay, I'll get back to that. Just little details about the characters. Okay. All right. The entire cast has been vocal about the inspiration they took from All Star Superman. Yep. The 12-issue comic penned by Grant Morrison and drawn by Frank Quitely. Holt points to a specific panel from that arc that helped define the particular shades of his Luthor. Superman, as Clark, visits the Mastermind in jail where he spent all his time bulking up in the gym. Well, Nicholas Holt didn't effing do that. Oh, got home from a family dinner. Nice. Feel that, Kent? Luthor asks on the page. Real muscles, not like his. It's easy to be strong when you just happen to have come from the planet Krypton. This takes hard work. Yeah, well, you should have put some work in the gym there, Holt. Anyway. That kind of captures in my mind the element of Lex, Holt says. He's worked hard and diligently for so many years for all these things, to be admired and to be adored. Then suddenly Superman turns up and he's all the things that he aims to be himself in some ways, but he doesn't have to work hard for it. So I'm like, what if this Lex is someone who is physically strong and is an alpha or seemingly in that sense? Instantly, even in the prep phrase, it was like, I'm going to get in the gym and I'm going to be as strong as I possibly ever can be by the time we start shooting. Lex is connected to everything, Gunn says of the role. There's nothing bad happening in Metropolis during this movie that doesn't have some connection to Lex Luthor. Well, that only makes sense. In this particular version of the DC world, Luthor is the head of tech company Luthor Corp, not LexCorp, as is more traditional. That annoys me. Luthor Corp is just lame. Gunn has repeatedly described the character as a sorcerer of science, capable of engineering the most fantastical gadgets and technology to achieve his goals, which leads us to the figures in his orbit, specifically the engineer. Right there she is. And that is Eve Tessmacher. Evidently, selfies are going to be her thing. Luthor is particular about who he surrounds himself with. Well, bunch of character shit. Here we go. There's also a mysterious figure on Team Lex called Ultraman, whose entire body is covered by a black suit. Gunn continues this air of mystery, but the character has comparable abilities to Superman, including laser vision, strength, and flight, based on the trailers. When asked if Ultraman is Luthor's attempt to create his own Man of Steel, the filmmaker replies, I think that's close. Ultraman is sort of Lex's thug and is pretty powerful. Not just with Luthor, but all the supporting characters in the film, Gunn wanted to create a world that wasn't so strictly black and white. There are some characters that are really almost saintly, like Superman. There are some characters who are almost pretty terrible, like Lex Luthor. But I don't think Lex is all bad, and I don't think Superman is all good. Okay? All those people in between, the Guy Gardners and the Jimmy Olsens of the world, are even more complex in their moralities and what they think is okay. Okay, cover shoot, blah, blah, blah. Gunn, although he's admittedly less active on social media. Is he? He needs to make it even more or less. Yeah. Okay. Blah, little synopses of the characters. Here we go. Okay. So a little bit of crossover here. Okay, so her last quote is, "You don't really get to know her that well," speaking of Hawk Girl, and I think that's good. James isn't showing all of his cards. He's saving a lot of that. All right. For what? Other DC projects. Early trailers for Peacemaker Season 2 reveal that Fillion and Merced will surprise their Superman roles alongside Sean Gunn's Maxwell Lord for DC's HBO series, for which James Gunn also serves as writer and showrunner. It was a bit more blatantly comical, Merced says, of inserting Hawk Girl into the Peacemaker environment. Well, yeah, because Peacemaker is a pretty comical fucking show. It's so fucked up, but in a fun way. Fillion will then pop over to HBO's Lanterns, which stars Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler as two other Earth-based Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, respectively. Gitegi also confirms that Superman isn't the only project that I'll be in, further illustrating Gunn and Safran's mission to bring these actors back across various projects. That would be Mr. Terrific, in case you. Like, Gunn just loves this fucking fishbowl lens, fisheye lens, doesn't he? Even for his fucking promos. Okay. All right, here we go. DC and Gunn fans are craving those specifics. Said specifics being who's coming back, when, where, how, in what capacity, yada, yada, yada. But the future appears bright for Superman and his pals in the DCU. David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers Discovery, soon to be back. This is the ironic part. In case you hadn't heard, Warner Brothers Discovery is splitting up. Warner Brothers Studios, DC Studios, basically the non-streaming and TV stuff is all going to be under Warner Brothers, and then Discovery is going to get all the streaming stuff, and they're going to shift all the debt over to them too, which is hilarious because Warner Brothers bought Discovery or vice versa, and now they're splitting up again, like a divorce. Excuse me. Anyway, David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers Discovery, soon to not be that anymore, got up in front of investors earlier this year and declared the Man of Steel as crucial to the longevity of this franchise, as are Supergirl, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Sitting in a large conference room where he's just about to watch the dailies from HBO's Lanterns, which is halfway through filming, Gunn agrees with Zaslav's statement, but provides one caveat. I wouldn't say only those four characters, but I would say that those four characters are incredibly important to us. Right now, I feel great about where two of those characters are. That would be Kal-El and Kara Zor-El. And then we're dealing with the other two. That would be Batman and Wonder Woman. Let's start with Superman. The film hits theaters this July 11th, and when asked if he's already thinking of a sequel, Gunn replies, "What I'm working on is in some way, yes. But is it a straight-up Superman sequel? I would not say necessarily." Now, when this quote hit the interwebs, mine, along with many other people's first thought was, world's finest. Which actually is not a bad way to bring in Batman, honestly. The DCU Batman. I know his original plan was Brave and the Bold, Damian Wayne, all that shite. But we've heard nothing about Brave and the Bold in forever. The Batman 2 is still 2+ years away. And so another movie with Superman in it that is not necessarily a direct sequel. And you still need to introduce Batman. World's Finest would be a most excellent way to do it, don't you think? So, and outside of that, I have no effing idea what it would be. Anyway, but cool. The next movie in the DCU after Superman will be Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, starring Millie Alcock as Kal-El's cousin, Kara Zor-El, on June 26th, 2026. I thought that was getting moved back. Maybe not. What about Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince? Already announced for development are a film inspired by Grant Morrison's Batman and Son comic, as well as a Paradise Island HBO series about the Amazons of Themyscira. The latter, being Paradise Island, is slow-moving, but it's moving, Gunn says, while confirming a Wonder Woman movie is being written right now. This is good news, chat. This is very good news. Because as we all know, being the nerds that we are, DCU has their version of a Holy Trinity, and that is Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Obviously, we're already getting Superman and Supergirl. We know we're getting Batman at some point. Now, whether it's going to be Brave and the Bold, or whether it's going to be World's Finest, we're getting DCU Batman at some point. And now we have confirmation that Wonder Woman is past the conceptual stage. It is being written right now. So, nerds, DC fans, comic book movie fans, the Trinity is on its way. And the Justice League cannot be too far behind that, because think about it. We are going to have, by the end of next year, we're going to have Superman and all his buddies from this movie. We're going to have 2 more Lanterns because of the show. And then Batman and Wonder Woman are on their way. So, Justice League-wise, that gives us Superman, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, with potentially the addition of John Stewart and or Hal Jordan, although I think the general consensus is it going to be John Stewart as the main Lantern. Fillion will be taking a step back as Guy Gardner. I don't even know if the Hal Jordan Lantern is going to make it out of that fucking show. Whether he lives or dies, I don't know that we'll see much of him ever again. So that's 1 Superman, a Hawkgirl, 2 Lanterns, or 3. And then Supergirl, Mr. Terrific, and then on the way, Batman, Wonder Woman, and I would imagine at some point we're gonna get another Aquaman. Don't know when. Probably not for a while, I would imagine. And I say that because A, Aquaman 2 bombed, and B, the most recent Aquaman is now Lobo. So Gunn's going to want some distance, not just from the DCEU Aquaman, but from Momoa being on screen at all. I would imagine. I would guess. Total speculation. But I'm guessing we're probably not going to see Aquaman for a hot minute. But yeah, so the pieces are starting to come together. Chat. Gunn hasn't yet cast the DC's Batman or Wonder Woman, but notes that Robert Pattinson is still there in director Matt Reeves' corner of the DC franchise. Is still there. Interesting. And that's in quotes. So that's actually what Gunn said. Pattinson, quote, is still there, end quote. In director Matt Reeves' corner of the DC franchise. Although there have been many delays, Pattinson will return for the Batman Part 2. Meanwhile, Reeves continues to build out his Batman epic crime saga, a series of movies and shows, including The Penguin, that remains separate from the main DCU franchise's story continuity. What Matt's doing is still really important, despite all stories to the contrary, Gunn comments. We're supposed to see that script shortly, and I can't wait. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a good idea to have Gunn running a main DC universe while Reeves is off over in his corner doing his Batman epic crime saga, doing what he wants with Batman characters that, if things stay status quo, will have jack shit to do with the main DCU line. So we're literally going to have like this whole self-contained Batman over here, and then our mainline DCU continuity over here with its own Batman, its own Bat family, its own Bat villains. All that shit. I don't know if that's such a good idea. What do you guys think? Especially with super ironic considering what they say Gunn says next. With all these projects, Gunn is conscious not to give audiences homework, which is not dissimilar to Marvel's current post-Endgame approach. Bro, you're allowing a whole separate self-contained Bat universe. How is that not giving audiences homework? What the actual fuck? You won't have to watch Superman to enjoy Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, he says. I'm really trying to be careful that anybody can dip in and see the story that is up next and not feel like they're missing information. Yeah, but that's super difficult to do in an what's supposed to be an interconnected universe where story depends on this story over here, depends on this story over here, and then eventually culmination of all these threads. They all have to relate. And at some point, there's going to be a little bit of homework in there. At some point, you're going to watch or read something, and you're going to be like, the fuck is this talking about? And then you'll have to go back and figure it out and be like, damn, I should have watched this, or damn, I should have read this. When you're doing an interconnected universe in whatever medium you're doing it in, having a little bit of a homeworky feel and having a little bit of a feeling occasionally like, I swear I'm missing something, is going to happen if you do not watch / read / listen to all the things. It's unavoidable. It is unavoidable. It's just unavoidable. Eventually. He may be able to get away with it early on, but the bigger the DCU gets, the less he's going to be able to avoid it. That said, he does have a master plan in terms of the titles comprising Gods and Monsters. The most important thing is the specific stories. There's also a much bigger story that we're telling that will take a little bit longer to tell here, Mark. That's sort of where my next couple of things are going to be. Could it involve something that does justice to this league of superheroes he's assembling? Is Justice League on James Gunn's mind? Of course, he responds. But there is no Justice League in this world. Not yet. Is it fair to say the Justice League relates to Gunn's larger plans for the Gods and Monsters phase of the DCU? Again, he offers a sly reply. Sure. It has to. What the fuck are we even talking about? The only way... Well, no. Even if you don't... And I think I've talked about this before. Even if you don't form the Justice League quickly, the end of this Chapter 1, Phase 1, Gods and Monsters, whatever you want to call it, the finale of that should be where the Justice League forms. Even if you wait till literally the last project of this chapter, that needs to be your event to end the chapter. The formation of the Justice League. At least in my mind. Diddling around with it for too long. Well, we saw the price Marvel paid for diddling around and spreading stuff out and just dropping little tidbits here and there and then never really doing much with them. It's a lesson that should be learned by all other studios who are doing anything similar to this with an interconnected universe. Okay, so outside of a bunch of way too in-depth character discussion in here, and you guys, of course, if you want to know all the nitty-gritty details and how the actors view their characters and stuff like that, this was in Entertainment Weekly. Super easy to find. But yeah, so from the sounds of things, Gunn is going to be definitely dipping into the heart of Superman, the core of Superman, the innocence of a younger Superman, it would seem, and volatility of a younger Superman. So we will see how that goes. Overall, I like it. What I read the actor saying in this article and what you listened to me read, they are getting at least to the heart of the characters. What Gunn decides to put around them in terms of other characters, or what attributes he decides to surround the cores of the characters with. It would seem he is at least nailing the core of the characters, and that is really, really good. I am quite happy about that. All right, get two tabs that open. Okay. What do you guys think? What did you think of Gunn's quotes? We're getting Wonder Woman. She's being written. Hell yeah. Who do you guys want to play Wonder Woman? Let's start there. If you were working for DC Studios and you were in charge of casting the upcoming Wonder Woman movie, who would you guys cast? Who would you guys cast? Brooke, you worried about Batman fatigue? That's a possibility. If you're running a Batman, two separate Bat universes under the same banner, yeah, that could be an issue. But of course, if Gilroy takes this long to put out stuff, I mean, let me back up on that one. While there have been no specifics, it's pretty much generally known that Mr. Did I say Tony Gilroy? Jesus Christ. Matt Reeves. There's some shit going on behind the scenes. Personal issues. So the Batman 2 script being consistently delayed has a lot to do with lifing in the life all over Matt Reeves rather than him being lazy or way too OCD about the script or what have you. So yeah, not all his fault. We don't have that script now. Yeah, October 2027, Brooke. That's when the Batman 2 is now slated to come out. It was going to be October next year. What was that? A couple months ago now that the announcement was made that that's getting delayed to October 2027. It's been a minute since that announcement came out. But yeah. Yep. Massively delayed. And again, a lot of that is due to whatever is going on with Matt Reeves behind the scenes. If it's if it was anything good, the script would be done. So, yes, we want the Batman 2 to come out much sooner than 2+ years from now. But on the other hand, that's just us. Whatever's going on, Matt Reeves is dealing with something super fucking heavy. And all we should be worried about is that everyone comes through it. Everyone involved comes out the other side of it. That's all we should really be worrying about with Matt Reeves right now. We need to be sending him and his family the good vibes. So, Adria Arjona for Wonder Woman. Yeah, she would be good. Apparently, the script is about to be sent to Gunn in a little while. Yeah, well, he was supposed to have it by Memorial Day. It is now June 11th. because he said that in early May. I should have the script by Memorial Day. Now June 11th, still no script. And also, welcome in, Executive Judge. How you doing tonight, my guy? Thank you for popping in. Really appreciate it. So, when Gunn's actually going to get the script, who the hell knows? And really, you know, in a contracty, technically sort of way, if Reeves doesn't want to show Gunn the script, he doesn't fucking have to, because Reeves works for DeLuca and Abdi. He does not work for James Gunn. Reeves works directly for Warner Brothers. He's not making DC movies for DC Studios. He's making DC projects for Warner Brothers. He does not have to answer to James Gunn. He doesn't have to show Gunn a script. Gunn's involvement begins and ends with providing Matt Reeves the resources to make his shit. That's it. The only thing I think Gunn is bullshitting about is the importance of Reeves' Battinsonverse, epic crime saga to Gunn's DCU. I mean, unless he's going to tie them in somehow, or unless he's going to tie the Battinson stuff in somehow, or make Battinson the main DCU Batman, there is, outside of the quality of Reeves' Batman movies potentially affecting DCU audiences, like they're like, oh, well, this Batman, I didn't like this Batman movie. I don't really care about this DC shit over here now either. Outside of that, Reeves's Batman Epic Crime Saga is unimportant to James Gunn's DCU. It's an Elseworld story. The Reevesverse is Elseworld. Gunn's already called it Elseworld. So I don't know why he is hyping up its importance. Because it basically has nothing to do with Gunn's version of the DCU. Again, outside of if anything in the Reevesverse sucks, it could cast a shadow on what Gunn's doing, over here. Because they're both under Warner Brothers, they're both DC products. So, and of course, that could go the other way too. If Gunn's DCU stuff starts to suck, the stink from that could float on over to the Reevesverse, vice versa. But outside of that, I have no idea why Gunn would think the Reevesverse is important to the DCU. At all. So, but we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. Now, enough about that article. Yesterday, wasn't it yesterday? I believe it was yesterday. The tickets went on sale for the Amazon Prime sponsored early screenings of Superman. The initial indications were that those puppies were selling like hotcakes. Evidently, Fandango crashed. And so, but overall, they seems to be doing pretty well. Many, not all, but many sold out venues, many sold out shows. Now, I would say, even though it's not all things, do I have my Prime screening tickets chilling? Hell no. Not because I don't want to go, but because I found out how much it actually is. Oh, I definitely have Prime. Well, Mrs. Chillin has Prime. But I use hers. But yeah, no. Yeah, as soon as I heard Josh start talking about the price of it, I was like, nope. I can go see that motherfucker for a $6 ticket on a matinee. So, which is probably exactly what I'm going to do. I'll probably catch a matinee opening weekend if I can pull it off. What would that be? July 12th before stream. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Josh spent $50 on 2 tickets to that Prime Video screening. I'm good on that. Like, Mrs. Chillin and I could go see Superman in the regular theater, plus get snacks for the cost of just those 2 tickets for the Prime thing, for regular seats. So, no. But I'm definitely going to see that fucking movie. That is 100% sure. You can share a Prime account with the other person getting access to your entire Amazon account. I don't think that's the case. But you know, we're married, so we're cool with it. But I don't know. I don't think you can sit. No, they're pretty linked. If they can sign into your Prime account to watch movies or whatever, they can go shopping under your name. Yep. Is this a different question? Ask your question, sir. Well, yeah. So those pre-sales went really well for yesterday. Today, the regular tickets went on sale. And like last week for Fantastic Four, we got a whole brand new trailer to accompany the opening of regular ticket sales. Oh, same question. Okay. So, Miss Blazing, if I go to the movies this summer, I'm putting it on a credit card like it's a broke-ass mini vacation, right? You'll just use your ticket discounts for the regular tickets? That's good thinking. That's real good thinking. Anyway, yeah, so we got tickets going on sale, and we got a whole new trailer. So I thought we would watch this trailer together. I know I'm not going to get sniped because Josh's stream didn't get sniped, and I'm not monetized. You're in the Regal Club, so it's nominal at least. Well, that's cool. And I'm not monetized, so I won't get any ad revenue ripped from me. So we're going to watch this motherfucking trailer. We're going to watch it all the way through, and then we're going to go back through it, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what we see. We'll talk about what we like. We'll talk about... I swear, I keep forgetting that I need to check stuff that... Make sure stuff's normal after I unpack it. Anyway. Okay, so music's paused. Turn that up so we can hear that. All right, chat. This was the new Superman trailer that came out. I imagine all of us being who we are, you probably already watched it, probably a couple times. But we're still going to watch it together as a community, and then we're going to talk about it. So here we go, the brand new Superman trailer that accompanied the kickoff of ticket sales for Superman.
Superman. The most powerful being on planet Earth.
We finally meet.
Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
No matter what you do to me, Luther, your plans won't work.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Make a move, Big Blue.
Buckle up.
They chose him. Let them die.
Hey! Quit messing around! I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Alrighty. Okay.
Moving this summer?
What the fuck? Stop it. Alright, we're going to go back through this as soon as I get this dumb thing to cooperate. I'm not watching the screen crush fucking breakdown.
Superman.
Hush, I say. There we go. Okay. I wasn't fast enough with the mouse. That was the problem. My bad. All right. Oh, that's right. Okay. Wiggle.
Superman. The most powerful being on planet Earth. We finally meet. Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
Question 1. Who the hell is this? Is this Metamorpho? Now, obviously, you guys remember from the last trailer where Metamorpho had formed one of his hands into kryptonite, and, Luther was causing, was having Superman get beat down with, like, those electric sticks or whatever the fuck those were. Those batons. I'm guessing this background narration we're hearing and this scene specifically right here are also in that same setting where Metamorpho's gleaming a kryptonite hand at him so Superman can get his ass beat by normal people. This is... You guys think that's Metamorpho or somebody else? I have no idea.
Them too.
No matter what you do to me, Luther, your plans won't work.
Okay, I gotta tell you. visuals are pretty fucking stunning.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Hold on a second. Who the hell was shooting him? Was it that person in the armor? Is that armor person again that was cooking the building?
Wrap it up.
luck
Can't
with
tell. Okay. Question. Y'all remember Caecilius? Worship Dormammu, Doctor Strange 1? What the fuck is this? Why does this look like Superman's been worshiping Dormammu? I'm very curious as to what the hell this shit is all over his eyes. I have no explanation for it. None that I can think of that makes any kind of sense. But yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't understand that. Okay. All right. Here's where I start nitpicking a little bit. Here's the kind of gun stuff that I don't really need in my Superman movie. I don't need to see teeth flying, and I definitely don't need to hear them bouncing off the camera. Side effect of him using his heat. I suppose in a way that makes sense, but to me, Superman taking damage from his own heat vision, like on his face, makes about as much sense as Superman getting radiation poisoning from using his X-ray vision too much. Like, his own powers should not hurt him. I mean, like, to me, that being a side effect of him using his own powers makes zero sense. That's just me, though. Things just wait till the Superman apart. Oh, you mean when Ultraman eventually gets unmasked? Are we all pretty much agreed that Ultraman is somewhat of a clone? Maybe. That makes more sense to me than Superman's own powers damaging him. But yeah, the teeth flying out, and on top of that, I mean, showing that kind of damage in a Superman movie is just for me, not necessary. Doesn't really belong. But then to cap it off with a little fourth wall action and having them literally tinking off of the fucking camera, bruh. There's gonna be people out there that love it. That's cool. I don't need that shit in my Superman movie. I just don't. But that's just me. This music is fucking peak, though. Oh my god. And what the fuck is happening to Metropolis? There's some serious shizzle going on. Look at this. Look at this.
Make a move, Big Blue.
All right, well. Okay, well, this is some sort of something here. Oh, okay. Looks like it's one of these tentacle creatures. Obviously, he's going to be in some kind of dimension. Probably the dimension that's opening up in the middle of Metropolis, I would guess. And we have here Baby Joe, son of Metamorpho. God, that's a creepy looking little fucker.
Buckle up.
Got Lois Lane driving a Mr. Terrific vehicle. Cool. All right, whose ass is he clamping here? I'll tell you what. I like most of the way that Gunn's using the camera and stuff, but shots like that last one are gonna fuck people up. Let's say a Superman could hold his hands over another Superman's eyes It says Soups uses the heat vision and hurts himself. Okay. Yeah, if it's being reflected back at him, I can see that. I still don't think it makes a whole lot of sense, but comic book. Okay, cool. But yeah, like just using his heat vision should, in my mind anyway, shouldn't do that. But your scenario, that actually does make some sense for sure.
They chose him. Let them die. Hey! Quit messing around. I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Okay, you can see some vortex. There he is with that shit on his eyes again. I cannot wait for the explanation for that. Yeah, we got some kind of dimensional vortex going on here. So obviously something cosmic is shredding Metropolis at this point. This little bit right here, in that one TV spot where I think it's Jimmy Olsen, somebody calls Ken a loser. He's like, hey, you're a loser. This is the kind of shit I hope is kept to an absolute minimum. This is the gun humor I've been concerned about the whole time. So I'm really hoping these moments are few and far between. Rob from Comics Explained, after he watched the trailer, was like, Superman with Guardians of the Galaxy vibes. And he was a fan of it. That was literally, I quote tweeted that at Josh. I was like, Rob just literally said what you were afraid of. Guardians of the Galaxy Superman. Me, I don't want Guardians of the Galaxy Superman. I just want Superman. That's it. That was sick.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Okay. Overall, that's a damn fine trailer. I will say that. It is a damn fine trailer. I'll tell you one thing. I have no worries about this movie when it comes to stunning visuals and scope. The effects are phenomenal. The scope is ridiculous in some of these shots. It's huge. I have no concern about the spectacle half of this movie at all. I'm not concerned about the core of the characters. He seems to have nailed the core of all these characters. Awesome. Just those little gun moments. Again, the teeth bouncing off the camera. Like, you really, number one, you don't really need to see flank. This isn't a fucking, your average slow-mo using action movie where, like, it's all about the damage, right? Like, we've seen those kind of movies. Plenty of them. For me, I don't need that shit in a Superman movie. And I definitely don't need the teeth that were knocked flying. Again, doing a fourth wall bounce off the camera, complete with tinking noise. Don't need it. And then some of the snarky back and forth. Like, a little snarky back and forth is cool, but again, this just, for me, I don't need a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe in my Superman movie. I just want a Superman movie. I don't want Superman plus a little bit of this. I just fucking want Superman. That's it. However, all of that being said, I'm very much looking forward to this movie. I'm definitely going to go see this movie. like I said, the visuals look phenomenal. I'm quite sure I will be visually entertained pretty much the entire time. That shit looks crispy. That shit looks really crispy. The only thing I'm worried about is the level of gun humor in that bit. I'm quite sure I will be visually. Honestly, I think this movie could be a bigger hit than F4. Maybe. Soundtrack is on point too. Oh yes, definitely. And the sound design overall, from what I've seen from all these stuff, like visuals, good. Sound, good. Characters, probably good. Maybe. Get on mute. There we go. Humor. Don't you put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby. Well, I gotta say, I think it's more than maybe. I think it's a distinct possibility, even probable, that Josh is about to lose $500 to Brandon David. Yep, I said it. I have flopped. I have flipped. I have flopped. So flipped. So flopped. First I was like, there's no fucking way F4 is gonna be outperformed by fucking Superman. I'm starting to think F4 is about to be outperformed by Superman. Which is honestly, only thing I don't like is the Superman suit. Yet that there is literally nothing you could do other than completely replacing that suit to make that suit look good. I'm sorry. That suit's ugly as fuck. It's always been ugly as fuck. It will always be ugly as fuck. I don't care how much it gets retouched in post. It's the basic design that sucks ass for this guy. The super suit, no bueno for chilling. No bueno. But setting that aside, my only other concern is how much of that Guardians gun humor got thrown in there. Now we have had those reports that a shit ton of it got cut out. Cool. Based on what we saw in that EW article, it would appear they're sticking with the traditional story of Kryptonians being benevolent and Jor-El sending his son to Earth to be an example of good and hope. So, which would seem to put to bed the rumor that the Kryptonians were not benevolent. Jor-El did not send Kal-El here to epitomize hope and goodness. The rumor was, huge retcon, the Kryptonians were basically going to be Viltrumites / Saiyans. Actually, it should be in order of appearance, Saiyans / Viltrumites. But this article appears to put at least that rumor to rest, for which I am profoundly grateful. I was not a fan. Not a fan of the Saiyan-ish, Viltrumite-ish Kryptonians. Not a fan at all. So Kryptonians are like Saiyans? Yeah, Saiyans were, from what I understand, I haven't actually watched Dragon Ball, but I've heard plenty of Dragon Ball fans talk about this. No, Kryptonians aren't. Viltrumites are like Saiyans. The rumor was Gunn was going to make the Kryptonians like the Saiyans and the Viltrumites, that Jor-El sent Kal-El here to conquer, not to be a symbol of goodness and hope. But according to the article, it's going to be the traditional benevolent Kryptonian. Jor-El sends Kryptonian son Kal-El to Earth to become powerful and a symbol of goodness and hope and something for humanity to us. Which is how it should be. So uncultured. I know. There's just something about, I don't know what it is. Like, it's not the stories. There's just something about, and it's not even the animation so much, although the way they talk drives me absolutely nuts. Like, It doesn't even look like words. It's just flappy mouth. But I think it's like the anime tends to be heavy on over dramatization and drawing out moments. And to me, a lot of it goes over the top in those two categories, and I have a very hard time getting past that. Like, that kind of shit just takes me right out of the story, even if it's a good story. Just pick up with Dragon Ball Super. You know, they send their kids shortly after birth and have them go wild to thin out the herd, having a rival by adults. Sans? Yeah. That's what a herd. In like a 10-episode power-up sequence? Maybe. Maybe. So, I'm quite happy that it appears that that retcon is not happening. I kid. But with DBZ, it was kind of true. So, but yeah, overall, I like the trailer. Many good things. Many good things about it. Many. Just a couple of little nitpicks, and those are just based on my own personal taste. Like, nothing even on a technical level, you know, production level per se. For the most part, I had zero problems with that. No. So I am shonen anime tropes are real. Okay. I am sure I'm going to be very entertained by this movie. I am sure that the rest of the movie is going to be so good that even if there's a little more gun in there than I want, it will not be able to take me out of the movie. I'm quite confident I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this movie. So, now, the next question is while those Prime sales did fairly well, they did not completely sell out everywhere. They didn't. Like, miss me with the no one wants the front seats. That's if there is one open seat in the theater, I don't care if it's in the front middle or if it's in a back fucking corner. If there's even one seat left in the theater, it's not sold out. Now, theaters have been sold out. There we go. Plenty of theater showings have been sold out, but not completely sold out everywhere. Some are damn close, some are not. And this is just the Amazon sales. Pre-sales. Now, the regular sale started today at noon, which is also when we got the trailer we just evaluated. And World of Real has dropped a bit of an analysis. The article reads as follows. There's no bigger movie coming out this summer than James Gunn's Superman. None. That remains to be seen, but it's possible. Maybe Jurassic World Rebirth can contend with it, but the peak of that franchise might have already passed. Wow. Who's this person? Jordan Ruamy. Jordan Ruamy is evidently either not a Marvel fan at all or is very, very disillusioned. He didn't even mention Fantastic Four. He thinks Rebirth can contend with it. Not a mention of the Fantastic Four. Okay. With that said, Superman ticket pre-sales started today, and tracking is starting to adjust the numbers. So far, it's looking really good for Gunn's movie, and internally, a $160 million domestic opening weekend is now being projected. internally. Does that mean that's a Warner Brothers projection? Or a World of Real internal projection? A World of Real, if I recall correctly, is generally, if they're not like dead ass, they're generally pretty close. And as I recall, and if someone wants to check me on that, please feel free. But as I recall, the projections for Fantastic Four were in the $120 to $135 million domestic range. So, yeah, we're talking, approximately a $30 million better opener with Superman than the Fantastic Four. Potentially. This is just still early tracking. We won't really know until the first weekend of the movie, or at least much closer to the first weekend of the movie, for either movie. Anyway, the demand has been so high that Fandango's site momentarily crashed. One look at the seating charts at various different theatrical locations, and you notice not many seats, if any, being made available on opening night. According to Fandango, the early access screenings, I like how they put that in quotes, even though that's exactly what they are, have already broken records, becoming the ticketing platform's top first-day advance ticket seller of 2025. Okay. Now, the way they're phrasing this, if you read it quickly, you'll think they're talking about today's sales. They are not. The early access screenings is the prime screening that went on sale yesterday. Now, it did damn well. The news came out yesterday that, according to Fandango, those advanced tickets were the best seller of 2025. We knew that. Now, what's really fun is, and they probably will do this, a little more Hollywood magical accounting, we'll call it. What Warner Brothers and others will end up doing is combining these prime sales with any sales that also, plus today going forward. So when they want to talk about first day ticket sales, what Warner Brothers is probably going to do is they're going to talk about today plus the prime ones and put them all together to inflate the number, as studios tend to do. Studios will do anything, calculate anything, any way they possibly can to make themselves look better. It's just facts. So this is very, very careful wording here by both Fandango and World of Real. They go on. Of course, whether this film proves to be a major success will have to do with word of mouth. Has Gunn delivered a good film? That's all audiences want. Warner Brothers has been going to church every day praying for success. Yeah, it's been well and widely reported that there is a shit ton on the line for not just DC Studios, but Warner Brothers as a whole with this movie. To mark the start of pre-sales, a new trailer for Superman has been released, showcasing fresh footage, including our first glimpse of Superman using his heat vision. There's less crypto in this preview, for which I am profoundly glad. The sources say the Superdog still plays a significant role in the film. Well, if... no shit. He's been in literally every other trailer all over the place. Of course he's going to play a significant role in the film. I mean, we did see him in this one. Like, the dude that got his teeth knocked out got set up by Krypton. I don't know if y'all saw that. What do you all think? Are you anticipating Gunn's take on Superman? Has the new trailer relieved any doubts you might have had about the film? No. Having spoken to several people who've seen a cut. Okay, so now he's talking about allegedly people who have seen some version of the movie. Having spoken to several people who've seen a cut, I'm still on the fence. Hopefully what I've heard was just an outlier, because it's been over 40 years since we've had a genuinely great Superman movie, and we're long overdue. Wait, what? Wow. This dude completely ignored Marvel and throwing shades at Man of Steel. Throwing shade. I said shade. I combined shade and shots. Damn, he's just shitting on everybody. Even Gunn a little bit. This is interesting. Having spoken to several people who've seen a cut, I'm still on the fence. hopefully what I've heard was just an outlier. That Superman is set to theaters. Yeah. That's interesting. Because as you know, where is he? I'll fight him. I mean, as has been reported for a while now, the reactions to not public screenings, I guess you call them private screenings of Superman, have been mixed. Reports have been mixed the entire time. It's always been, hey, these people loved it. These people didn't really like it that much. And evidently the people that this particular person spoke to were on the not liking it that much side of the fence. They at least said enough to have this guy still on the fence about his expectations for the movie. And he's hoping what they told him was just an outlier. In other words, he's hoping the people he knows have the minority opinion and that the movie justifies justifies the majority opinion. I wonder, A, how many several is. Several's pretty vague. I also wonder which screenings they've been to, because there have been a few. There were screenings a while back that resulted in Warner Brothers stepping in and having Gunn chop a shit ton out of it. Then there's the most recent screenings, which still came out with much more in the way of positive reports than previous screenings did, but there were still people who came out of that going, what the fuck? So that's a nice little tidbit there at the end. It's like he spends the first part of the article praising it, and then this last little bit, like, yeah, despite all that, I'm not too sure myself. Don't really like what I've heard from people I know. Hoping they're wrong, or at least in a vast minority, and then I'll love this movie. And then throw shade at Man of Steel by saying it's been over 40 years since we've had a generally great Superman. Which is true. Setting aside Man of Steel. When did the original Donner film come out? It was 70 what? It was A New Hope came out in 77. Was it 79? I think the Donner Superman came out in 79. Someone check me on that, if you'd be so kind. So, basically what this boils down to is when the writer of this article is sticking to reporting. 78. Thank you, Hosea. It looks like there's some really strong indicators that this movie is going to do really, really well. Even though there was much less crypto in this trailer, crypto has been a large portion of the marketing, including that little video at the top of that Entertainment Weekly article where crypto is playing tug of war with, like, the cast and winning. Gunn is going for them family dollars. That is for sure. And that's a wise-ass move. Really? You think I looked at... This is like garbage lighting. I need more lighting over on this side of me. Over here. I need more lighting over here. I need a little bit more in the back, but thank you. Great movies around that time, says Hosea. Star Wars, Superman, Rocky, heaps more. Oh, dude, yeah. The late 70s were off the chain for cinema, bro. Godfather. Godfather was right in that time period. Godfather was in that time period. Looks and sounds great, though. Nice. Thank you, man. Hey, you helped out with that a lot earlier, and I appreciate it. C-Dub. You can, Hosea, you can bet I'm taking my sons to their first Superman in the theater. Yeah, I don't remember. Have I seen any of the Supermans in the theater? I didn't see any of the ones when I was a kid in the theater. And I don't remember if I went to see the Brandon Routh Superman in the theater. Was that Superman Returns? I think maybe, but I can't remember for sure. I didn't see Man of Steel in the theater. Sharpness is fixed. Sounds great. Awesome. So yeah, this might actually be my first Superman movie in the theater. Again, maybe Superman Returns, but I cannot recall for sure if I saw that in the theater. If I rented it, I know I watched it once. I'm really starting to think. Honestly, Chad, I think this might be my first Superman movie in the theater. I never even thought about that before. Wow. 49 years old. Finally going to see a Superman movie in the fucking movie theater. Damn. Superman and F4, July going to be a fun month. Well, let's not forget the dinosaurs. I mean, the Jurassic World 4 is going to make some money. It's definitely going to turn a profit. That budget, I mean, it's Hollywood, so it's probably more than what they said. But their reported budget, they don't have to make too much to turn a profit. I think it's around $500 million or something. I was pretty bad at going to the movies for a while, not going to lie. I've been really bad at it for like a while now. Now I only go to the theater to see event movies like this stuff. It's pretty much all I go to the theater for. Everything else, I'm like, I don't need to pay money to see a drama on the big screen. I used to. I saw Forrest Gump on the big screen. I saw Titanic on the big screen. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, although that is kind of an action movie, but kind of not at the same time. No. I saw, what is that called? Shit. Had Brad Pitt in it. Anthony Hopkins was his dad. Legends of the Fall. I saw that in the theater. Good movie, by the way. If you've never seen it, great fucking movie. Yeah, so I used to like go to the theater for all kinds of stuff, but now I just go for like the big shit, or at least what I consider to be big shit. In Game in the Theater was something else. Oh yeah, I was all in my feels at the end of that fucking movie. I cheered out loud when the portals opened. I did. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was like, yeah. Hell, I cheered out loud when Cap showed back up in Infinity War. And if it's the same, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, if another one ever happens, Dune, anime movies, Demon Slayer coming up in September, but and other sci-fi likely. Exactly. Did my theater erupt? Oh, I don't know if I go so far as to say erupt, but it got reasonably loud in there. I would say the crowd I was with was fairly demonstrative, but not like peak demonstrative. You know what I mean? Like I've seen videos of theaters that went off way harder than the one I was in, but it was still a pretty enthusiastic reaction, for sure. And I heard a fair chunk of sniffles, there at the end. Executive Judge, I saw Endgame second week, so I didn't get to experience the peak of the hype, sadly. You know what? I'm pretty sure I was not there opening weekend either. I don't remember exactly. I may have been, but I'm not 100% sure, so it probably wasn't, honestly. Oh, the new Peter Jackson Tolkien ones? Yeah. No Way Home got a bunch of reactions in IMAX too? Yeah. Yeah, I used to not really care too much about whether I got their opening week now. It's different now. I want to be their opening weekend now. Um, Mostly I want to see it at max hype. And of course, I want to make sure I see it so I can talk about it with y'all. Oh, you saw it opening weekend, Brooke? Nice. I bet that was crazy. Oh, and that's another thing. Like, I've never been the biggest fan of going to opening week because people. No Way Home made it up for you? Nice. Pacers Thunder game is so good right now. Cool. It's tied up, right? One game apiece, and this is game 3. No Way Home's the best theater experience you've ever had? Nice. Movie going experience can be amazing at times. Lots of great memories going with my dad to see movies. Yeah, I didn't go to see a lot of movies with my dad. I didn't go to see a lot of movies till I was basically an adult. And then I was like, I'm going. You saw Endgame 5 times? That's something else I don't do. I don't go to the theater to see a movie twice. Never have. Probably never will. Mostly due to financial considerations, but 98, what quarter? What the kvota? Oh, not 5 times in theater, first 2 times in theaters. Oh, you're talking about just how many times you've watched it? Oh, good. Oh, total of 5 times. Jesus, I can't read. Oh, this is in the 4th? How much time left? Yeah, I've watched Endgame any number of times. 7 minutes left. Oh, shit. That's a lot of time, though. Last movie I saw twice in the theater was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Okay. Yeah, the new Apes movies are pretty good, honestly. Or the updated ones. However you want to phrase it. Those are actually pretty good. Actually, I don't think I've seen them. Mini fridge. I don't think I've seen the most. Actually, I don't think I saw the. I think I only watched the first 2. I need to get back into that because those are the ones I enjoyed the ones I watched. I just haven't watched them all yet. I'm a slacker. I have to admit it, Chad. I'm a procrastinator and a slacker. I'm behind on nerdy movies I should watch. I'm behind on movies in general. I'm behind on shows. I'm behind on books. I slack, chat. I slack. I'm too fond of my downtime. That's the problem. I am highly fond of sitting around and doing not much. Arr. Mine's more of a buzzing. Give my kitty some screeches. Oh, there he is. Up. You see his tail. Now you see his ears. Hi, buddy. Can you see him? Hi, sir. I think there are very few people either in the chat live right now or that will be kind enough to watch on the replay. And again, thank you for that. Please hit all the buttons if you haven't. I would say other ways is widespread. That's what I would say. So there are many of us are guilty, executive judge. But as a judge, you have the power to dismiss all charges. Fun fact, OKC only got an NBA, I assume you mean NBA team, after we hosted New Orleans Hornets because of Hurricane Katrina. Oh, no shit. No. Yeah, that's all I have on the Superman chat. It's now up to you. Or maybe, okay, let me rephrase that. I don't mind serious. I just don't want to get anything guaranteed to be divisive. Like, I don't want to talk real world events. Like average philosophy or ethics or whatever without delving into like current circumstances. Totally down. Yeah, whatever you guys want to ask / talk about / comment on, go for it. All I had today was Superman because that's really all there was. Not a whole hell of a lot of other news out there. Oh, okay. I suppose I'll talk about this a little bit since Josh talked about it on screen. The Sue Storm problem. I think people are freaking out way too much about it. Outside of like larger activities, like Sue basically is the leader. She's been written that way multiple times. Because let's face it, while Reed obviously is, in a 3-way rotation with his own daughter and Doctor Doom, he's basically the smartest character in the entirety of the Marvel universe. Now, with that level of intelligence, must necessarily come in aloofness, right? Like there's a point in time where like, and not that I'm anywhere near Reed level, but we're all pretty intelligent people in here, and I'm sure we've all run into less intelligent people, and when we do that, we know how frustrating it can be around them to try and explain stuff that seems so fucking simple to you, and they're just like, and you're like, I just need to go away. That's Reed Richards, except where it only happens to people like us occasionally. That's him all the time, every day, 24/7, 365. That is Reed Richards. He's that fucking smart. We're all fucking infants compared to him, except for Doom and Valeria. So when it comes to executing like a big plan or whatever, coming up with a big plan, that's Reed. When it comes to how they're going to handle big situations, that's Reed. Reed is the smartest dumb person too. Could be. But for the day-to-day lives, Sue pretty much leads the family. She handles the business. Because Reed's generally off in the corner trying to figure some shit out. Let's be real. That's what Reed spends most of his time doing. Trying to solve problems that no one else can solve. So he spends a lot of time in his lab. He spends a lot of time alone. Which leaves Sue to, for the most part, not all the time. Not all the time. But when it comes to like the basic family shit, Sue. Day-to-day living, Sue. Yeah, so Sue being called the leader, while it may be, it's true and untrue at the same time. So first of all, that's probably like poor phrasing, and probably purposefully poor phrasing to get them the clicks. Because if you've spent more than a day on the internet, you know there's a way to phrase things to piss off pretty much anyone you choose to on any side you want to. It's just all about in the words you use. But either way, it's going to lead to traffic on your site. So calling Sue the leader there's at least a little bit of that in there. I would say probably not like most, but a majority of the time she actually is the leader. She's the heart of the team, the heartbeat of the team. She's kind of the core. She's the glue, as it were. And you can't fulfill those roles without also leading. Would it be more like COO versus CEO? Yeah. Your chief operations officer handles like most of the shit, and then the CEO comes rolling on in when it's crunch time for the big shit. Yeah, I would say that. I would call that an accurate analogy. Yeah, Sue would be COO, Reed is CEO. Because when the rubber meets the road, Reed is the one that figures out how to deal with like the big happenings. Reed's going to be the one to figure out how they deal with blackness. Reed's going to set the plan for how they deal with blackness. But outside of that, Reed is a lab rat. Trying to solve problems. So, Reed is the leader of the Fantastic Four. But Sue is also a leader. And it's been written that way multiple times. Probably, now I haven't read any of the vintage F4 comics. But the way Hickman writes her is, from what I've seen in interviews and other quotes, pretty much the way she is going to be portrayed in the movie. And Hickman Fantastic Four is amazing. To channel my Rob, son, let me tell you something, son. Hickman Fantastic Four is the bomb. No, the leader is the leader. Ha 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 ha. Daniel, ha. And don't bring that goofy motherfucker up. That just reminds me of that stupid ass movie from February. Like a big old green zit on his fucking head. What the fuck was that? Why'd you have to do that, Dan? Why? Why? Marvel Ultimates comics have been pretty good. I've heard that. Just Loving Wolverine as a Winter Soldier. That seems so intriguing. I really wish I had comic money because I would be all up in Ultimate Wolverine. Pause. Anyway, yeah, I'd be all about that book. for sure. All about it. You guys think Superman's going to hit a Billy? Based off everything we now seen and now know, all the trailers, all the clips, the Prime sales, the initial sales today, which we don't have numbers for yet, but we will by Saturday. You know, we're going to talk about that shit just like we did for F4 last week. That's kind of the big question. Superman's going to do well. Is going to do pretty damn well. I am quite sure of that at this point. Despite my quibbles with a few things here and there, it looks like a damn good movie. Saturday, what? We should have actual pre-sale numbers and more accurate long-range projections for Superman's box office. And we'll have them to talk about this coming Saturday stream. Just like last week when F4 tickets went on sale on Wednesday, we were able to talk about it. And then we had actual sales numbers and projections by Saturday stream, and we talked about it. So, same deal this week with Superman. Rick says, I think 750 million is possible. $1 billion may be a stretch. Okay. Sounds fair. Anybody else? Would anybody else like to make a bet? Not a real one, because I have no money. Make a guess. Share your hunch. How much will well, forget trying to come up with how much will it make. Will Superman hit the big B? I have never thought so. I definitely didn't think so when we first found out what July was going to look like with Jurassic World 4. Coming out at the beginning of the month, and Jurassic Worlds 1 through 3 were all billion-dollar movies. And then Superman 2 weeks after JW4, and then F4 2 weeks after Superman. When I first heard that, I was like, damn, we eating good. But also, damn, these movies are going to be stepping all over each other's toes in terms of box office. I'm like, that's too many huge IP, too close together in a down economic time. People are going to have to choose. In a better economy, motherfuckers would be there for all three movies. They wouldn't even give a shit. They would all do super good. But those are not the circumstances. That is not how things are. The economy is not that great. So, as we've seen in past theater performances, and as we've seen twice for Marvel movies this year, people are picky about when they're going to spend their money and on what, at least when it comes to movies. Now, there are other factors as to why Brave New World Thunderbolts didn't do well. Outside of people just being more choosy about when they go to the theater and what they're going to see there. A lot of that has to do with brand damage. I know a lot of people are starting to say comic book movie fatigue, or Marvel fatigue, or DC fatigue. It's not that. It is crappy comic book movie fatigue, crappy Marvel movie fatigue, Marvel project fatigue, crappy DC fatigue. Because people show up for the big shit. They showed up for No Way Home. They showed up for Deadpool and Wolverine. They showed up for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You know, stuff that people are mostly confident that they're going to enjoy. They will show up. But if they're even the least suspicious these days, they ain't fucking showing up. If they have not already been given a reason to care, they're not fucking showing up. If the character's been mishandled previously, they're not fucking showing up. So, I still am 98% convinced that circumstances have still not changed enough to where any of these movies are going to make a billy. I don't think any of them are. Still don't, even with all this new reaction and numbers and shit, I still don't think any of them are going to make a billy. I used to think F4 had the best chance. I mean, those first day ticket sales were pretty fucking good, right? And it has the advantage of not having one or two massive IP movies coming out after it. So that's a plus. It doesn't have anywhere near the competition that Jurassic World and Superman have after F4 comes out. It's got a much better chance to have legs than the other two. But as of now, while again, I still don't think any of them will make a billy, I now think Superman has the best chance. Even being sandwiched between Jurassic World and F4. I still think Superman has the best chance of the three to make $1 billion. What do you think, guys? Easy. Honestly, I'm as of right now, I am Fantastic Four 600, 800 million. I think your Jurassic Park Rebirth 800 to $1 billion. Ooh. Gotta hard disagree with the Jurassic Park. Jurassic World, Jurassic movie, whatever the fuck it is. Lilo and Stitch will make $1 billion. Where is Lilo and Stitch at? The Jurassic movie comes out first, which means its box office after 2 weeks is going to start getting eaten into by Superman. And then any leftovers are going to be gobbled up by the Fantastic Four when it comes out 2 weeks after Superman. Okay, well, as of 4 days ago, Lilo and Stitch was creeping up on 800 million. Worldwide. So it's creeping up on that, Billy. How to Train Your Dragon 400, 600 million? Hi, Daniel Fisher. I'm going to go see the Naked Gun movie in the theaters if I'm available. See, if the theater experience were like roughly half the price it is, I would probably go see more movies in the theater like that one. Like, that looks funny as fuck. But yeah, the Rebirth, no way in fuck is hitting $1 billion. I think you're right about Fantastic Four, but I think Superman should be on that level, if not a bit higher. Actually, really, I think you could probably easily flip those numbers. I've seen the first two, but the problem is when I watched the second one. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert coming, folks. If you have not seen How to Train Your Dragon 2, huge spoiler alert. I was not at a great point in time emotionally when, like, in general, in my headspace, when I watched How to Train Your Dragon 2. So, when Hiccup's dad got killed, I couldn't handle it, and I have not yet watched How to Train Your Dragon 3. Still. 800, 900 million may be reasonable for Superman? Yeah. I think Superman is going to be 750 to 900 range. I think Jurassic World is probably going to be the 700 to 800 range. I think that movie can make a good amount of money in 2 weeks. But that's all the time it's going to have to make the money. It's 2 weeks. How to Train Your Dragon in band class, that's awesome. And I think we're looking probably 6 to 8 for Jurassic World, probably 750 to 9 for Superman, and probably 650 to 8 for Fantastic Four. Or 6 to 8. 6 to 750? No, I think it could hit 8. Yeah, we'll say 6 to 8 for Fantastic Four. 7 to 9 for Superman. Probably 6 to 8 for Jurassic World. Well, 6 to 7. 750. We'll see, though. I'm just a speculate. Is there even any early tracking for Jurassic World yet? Have those tickets even gone on sale? Because I haven't seen shit. I mean, there's been a couple of clips of the movie that come out, a couple articles about it, but are tickets even been on been put on sale for that movie yet? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody know? I don't know. Oh, that'll always help the experience. Going to see it with a friend, get some foods. Yeah. 2023 is a terrible year for Disney in general. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. On screens both large and small. Bad year. You can get Superman tickets right now. Yeah, check on that for tickets. Tickets went on sale for Jurassic weeks ago. What's its tracking, I wonder? Global, blah, blah, blah. This post is for man. Fuck you, people. Just someone give me a number. Screen rant. Okay. Why do you say it's going to be a bigger hit? Oh, okay. Oh, they were just talking about its budget only being 180 million. I want actual tracking numbers, you fucks. Why can't you just give me a fucking number? Alright, well, we're going to go back to May 23rd. That appears to be the most recent thing. That's from Box Office Theory, who specializes in this shit. Looks like Jurassic World Rebirth is tracking to do 116 to 135 million, and that's over a 5-day weekend. Because it gets the 4th of July weekend. So it's tracking to 116 to 135. Yeah, but what's the actual number? All right, back to Box Office Theory. All right, so same source, Box Office Theory, is putting Fantastic Four's tracking at 125 to 136 million. So about 10 million more, no matter where you go at in the range, than Jurassic. And then, according to that last article I read, World of Real, who are mostly good, but occasionally go a little out of pocket and are wrong about some shit. Their internal tracking says it's about 160 million, which is another 25-ish million better than Fantastic Four's the high end of its range. He hasn't put one out today. He will tomorrow, probably. Okay, yep, nope. According to the same source, Box Office Theory. We just went over these numbers. All right, Daniel, thanks for coming by. Same source. Superman is tracking for 154 to 175 million. This is all according to Box Office Theory. So, whether these numbers are like accurate or not, at least with these numbers all coming from the same source, we can get an idea of the trend. And the overall trend is Jurassic World's going to open with the least, Fantastic Four second least, and Superman's going to come in and dominate Fantastic Four by about $20 million or more. 30 or 40 million, actually. Now, again, this is according to just this one box office tracking thing, Box Office Theory. I haven't done enough research to know how accurate this entity is. But no matter which way you slice it, Superman's in the lead right now, y'all. Superman is crushing. So at least as of right now, Superman has the best chance to make a billy. Will it? Maybe. Don't know. Still don't think so. Although 154, if international doubles that, We're talking a $310-ish million opening weekend. Worldwide. That's a pretty damn good start, y'all. That movie's going to, well, I don't know about make some money. It depends on which budget you believe. But it's going to bring in some money. Put it that way. Yeah, Superman is officially crushing all. As of right now. Now we'll get more and more accurate numbers over the next month. Well, actually, we'll start getting accurate numbers on Jurassic World in 2 fucking weeks, guys. You realize that? Well, 3. 2.5. Friday the 13th, 27th. Okay, so 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, Jurassic World comes out, which means Superman in 5 and Fantastic Four in 7. We are getting close, folks. We're getting close to number 1, and most importantly, eating damn good as nerds in July, guys. We're going to be eating damn good, especially if you're in a position to be able to go see all 3 of those movies. You are going to be so full, so filled. Now, I'm hitting 2 out of 3. I'm hitting Superman and Fantastic Four. One way or another. But yeah. So that's the most important thing. We eating good in July, folks. Now, I am a fan of competition. I am a competitive person. So, while I am uber thrilled about how good I'm about to be eating as a nerd in July, I also am very, very interested in who's going to perform, in this case, what is going to perform the best. And that applies to like any given situation. It's not just box office, obviously sports in general. But like, anytime we're doing a comparison of performance, I'm about it, right? And I like to make my guesses and predictions and stuff. Honestly, could just all be tied, these 3 major movies. I mean, yeah, it is. I don't know how likely it is. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say there's probably, I don't know, 30-40% chance these movies, all 3, end up in the same basic range of, say, 600 and 900 million. Assuming we get a huge TV spot, another major hype trailer for F4 within the next week, we will probably get that in 2 weeks. Little bit before Jurassic World comes out, so they can start stealing some hype. So I would say 2 weeks, right before July. If they stick with this Wednesday thing, maybe even 2 weeks from today. We'll get ourselves a little tickle from the Fantastic Four. Pause. Anyway. Yeah. Right now, Superman's in the lead, if you care about the competition. And with a projection of $30 million higher in Fantastic Four, and 30 to 40, and then like 40 to 50 higher than Jurassic World, Superman's not just in the lead. all the other two can see really is the flapping cape. The rest of them is out of sight. As of this moment, right now, 11:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, June the 11th, Superman is not just in the lead, Superman has a big lead. I hope Josh has Brandon Davis's $500 set aside. Because right now it is looking like he gonna be owing Brandon Davis $500. Because it looks like Superman is about to grab Reed Richards, stretch him out, and then tie up the rest of the Fantastic Four with him, and then throw him somewhere. That's what it looks like right now, guys. What it looks like right now. I'm not saying anything more than that. Because things could change. Things can always change, especially when it comes to movies in Hollywood. You never know what you're going to get. Like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But right now, y'all, it's Kal-El's world, and everyone else is just fucking living in it. Yep. What you think, chat? Questions, concerns, comments? Pretty decent stream, I would say. If you're a fan of Superman, I would say a banger. Outside of the nitpicking I did with the trailer. And it was nitpicking. I freely admit it. But there's just some shit that I don't like in a Superman movie. That's all I'm saying. I still think the movie overall is going to be fucking awesome. It's definitely going to look good. From a visual aspect. It's definitely going to fucking sound good. And then, we'll see how the script goes. Brooke says, I think it seems like Superman will be the top performer, but after we get another F4 trailer, maybe sentiment could shift. Yeah, it could shift. I think it's possibly even likely that it will. I don't think it will shift to the point where Fantastic Four takes the lead, though. I think it'll shift just a little bit where Fantastic Four will take a little bit more of a chunk. But that's it. C-Dub, I want Superman to be good. Oh, so do I, bro. Like, I would love nothing more than to walk out of that theater not even thinking about James Gunn humor, but just thinking about how motherfucking awesome that movie was. Unlike Brave New World, where I was in Thunderbolts, where I was just like, I hope I'm not mad at this shit. And I'm not like mad at Brave New World, but it wasn't good. Definitely not mad at Thunderbolts. That was really good. The Superman is hard. Pause. It's always been a tough character to please everyone. True. Well, James Gunn has never tackled an A squad. That is true. Pleasing everyone's never going to fucking happen. Like, there's literally no way to. But yeah, certain versions. Sorry, I've been a bit of a voyeur tonight. That's okay. I don't mind being watched. The fuck was I going to say? God damn it. I mean, all right, so we're talking like how to bring in general audience, right? That's what it always boils down to with these large IP, these big 4-quadrant IP. It's what does the general audience know? What did they expect? I mean, obviously, if you're making comic book movies, even though you're making them to bring in the general audience, you obviously have your core fan base that you better appease. Otherwise, they will shoo the normies the fuck away. But for normies, Superman is pretty basic. They all most normies, when you say Superman, they're going to think Christopher Reeve. That version. Nerds will think of Reeve, they'll think of Routh and then wish they hadn't, and then they'll think of Cavill. And maybe even some of them will go to the TV versions of Superman. Probably not Dean Cain's, but Smallville and Superman and Lois. Pretty good versions. So as long as you stick to the basics with Superman, you'll be fine with the general audience because, most of them just know the basics. Okay, yeah, he's an alien. His home planet blew up, and he's here with superpowers, and he is all about goodness and hope. Done. You provide the general audience with that. You think most know Superman over F4? 100%. General audience-wise, 100%. I'm afraid he's going to try and do too much. I mean, yeah, that is a worry. I mean, you saw that most recent trailer, right? There's a lot of shit going on in that motherfucker. There's a lot of shit. Although, we know it can be done. We've seen Infinity War and Endgame. And we know the Russos can do it. We're about to find out if Gunn can do it. And while this movie is titled Superman, it's an ensemble movie. Let's not get it twisted. You got Superman, Lois, everyone that works at the planet. Then you got the Justice Gang and Maxwell Lord. And then you got Luthor and Metamorpho and Ultraman and all that shit too, and the Engineer. This is an ensemble movie. Let's be clear. Let's not kid ourselves. It's Superman. He's going to be like, the big deal, but it's an ensemble movie. Seeing all Superman shows or movies, Ralph was the most mid. Yeah, I did not really like Superman Returns much. I liked Kevin Spacey's Luthor. But yeah, most of that movie I was like, don't care. I've only watched it once. Probably all I'll ever watch it. I really should go back and revisit the Donner, the Christopher Reeve Supermans. All right, there we go. Itchy. So yeah, Superman's really, really, really looking to be a banger, y'all. Really, really looking to be a banger. And frankly, I'm thrilled about it. I'm ready for just overall a banger DC movie. And definitely a banger Superman movie. Now, I do kind of want to find whoever wrote that World of Real article and smack them around a bit for like completely ignoring Fantastic Four. And then, who did he throw shots at? Oh, throwing shots at Man of Steel. By completely omitting Man of Steel as a good Superman movie. saying there hasn't been a great Superman movie in over 40 years. You know, fuck you, bro. Obviously a Snyder hater, possibly a Marvel hater. But setting those biases aside, Superman is projected to do well. And I, for one, am here for it. I'm ready for good DC. I'm ready for good Superman again. I'm ready for Marvel to feel some heat, so they have to get their shit in gear. Now, I think they're already doing. I think Fantastic Four is going to be really, really good. I think Doomsday, Secret Wars, and Brand New Day are all going to be really, really good. But a good DC will prevent them from getting lazy. A good DC will keep the heat on Marvel and Feige. A good DC will force them to be better, or at least want to be better. And we know Feige likes to do that shit. DC announces BVS. Feige's like, yeah, fuck you, Civil War. Captain America 3, but basically an Avengers movie. Hope you ain't counting prior Superman and the one with the nuclear super guy. I didn't mind Superman 3 so much, but Superman 4 was lame as shit. My God. Lame as shit. Lame as shit. I mean, honestly, when it comes to normies, just in terms of their general knowledge, Superman and dinosaurs will be more recognizable to normies than the Fantastic Four. I mean, obviously, everyone's heard of dinosaurs. Most people have heard of Superman. I still don't see Jurassic World making $1 billion. Again, I don't see any of them making $1 billion. I mean, there's just no way around it. Jurassic World has 2 weeks to make its money. That's it. Superman, I originally thought would only have 2 weeks to make its money. But if it's that good, it could still maintain legs even after Fantastic Four comes out. What's my fave Superman movie? The original Donner. But, like, Man of Steel is right there. Yeah, the original Donner is still my shit. You say Superman, the first face that pops in my head is still Christopher Reeve. Oh, yeah, no, Brooke, I like Man of Steel a lot. Going on a live-action Superman binge sounds overall like a pretty good idea. If I were to do such a thing, I would curate it. I would edit. Like, I would watch Donner 1 and 2 and Man of Steel. I'm skipping 3 and 4 and Superman Returns. Superman 2. You mean Superman Returns with Spacey as Lex? Man of Steel is your fave even as an old head. Nothing wrong with that. It's a great fucking movie. Despite what that asswipe at World of Real tried to say. Fuck that guy. Brooke's always been more of a Batman than a Superman person. I mean, that's not surprising. Batman is the most popular DC character. I'm a Batman guy. I've seen all the modern Batman movies, I think. Spicy Dan. As a kid, I loved watching Superman, even 4 with Nuclear Man. Yeah, well, I didn't mind it so much. Like, as a kid, the first time I watched it, then I rewatched it later on when I was a little older. I was like, wow, no. Nope, I'm good now. Superman is hard. It just is. I'm rooting for it. Oh, I know. I'm massively rooting for it. For a few different reasons. Yeah, I had Supergirl on VHS. That one is a yike now. Yeah. Actually, I don't remember what the occasion was. I don't know if like my class earned it, but we actually watched that in class in 4th grade. We had a movie day. Or at least a movie afternoon. I think that's the only time I've watched it. Was in 4th grade. And I never watched the CW show either. Like, Woman of Tomorrow is going to be the first Supergirl I've watched actively since 4th grade. Now that I think about it. It's a bit crazy, but it's true. C-dub. I think a lot of movies as a kid we can cringe at. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's 100% accurate. Yep. All right. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it here pretty soon. CW Supergirl wasn't bad. But that was Titanic. The hand in the steamed up window. And Kate Winslet was looking good, though, boy. Yes, she was. I don't want to see Smallville now. So many shows to watch. Even my sister likes Smallville. That's fucking saying something. She really liked that show. She doesn't have a nerdy bone in her body. My sister, but she loves Smallville. Yeah. Well, there's just so much shit out there, Brooke. That's the problem. It's hard to go back and then get caught up. Like, there's just so much. Like, what the hell? I'm starting to get middle-aged skin sack. Fuck. Had to take what we could get pre-internet. I mean, true. Yeah. Smallville was good, says Brennan. Yup. Teen drama with Superman is Smallville. Indecent Proposal. I only watched that once. That was I think I enjoyed it though. Tell you what, they were not shy about boobies in the 80s. That's for damn sure. Boobies everywhere in the 80s. Because the first half of the 80s, I was a little too young to appreciate it. Second half, though, woo, boobies. And nothing has changed since. I still love boobies. Boobies are proof that God exists and He loves us. Atheist to me. How do you know there's a God? Me to the atheist. Boobs. Demi was fired in Indecent Proposal? Yes. You ever see Striptease? Damn. Species? Oh, Natasha Henstridge. Oh, yeah, boy. Oh, yeah, boy. Yeah, Natasha Henstridge was ridiculously hot in Species. Holy shit. Basic Instinct. Oh, Sharon Stone. Her run. Shit. Basic Instinct. What was that? What was that movie she was in with Stallone about where he was an explosives expert? They had themselves a scene in that one too. Yeah, I still haven't checked on that. I suck. What was that called? The Specialist, I think. I think that was The Specialist. Sylvester Stallone, Sharon Stone, what's his name? Eric Roberts. Roddy McDowell doing one of the worst Hispanic accents I've ever seen or ever heard in my life. Was that it? Was that Specialist? Hello, Malice. Demolition Man? No, that was Stallone and Wesley Snipes. In the future. Where every restaurant is Taco Bell. Somehow your ass gets cleaned, or as Josh would say, you wash out your stinky butthole with 3 seashells. Unless you're Stallone, and then you go swear at the machine, so it issues you a shit ton of tickets, and then you go wipe your ass with those. She Spies was an underrated show. If you say so, I don't even remember that show. You sent a video of all the cutscenes? Ooh. You know, there are YouTube channels out there who do nothing but put together cutscenes and basically turn them into from games, so you can basically just watch the story as a movie without all the gameplay in the middle. I hear some of those are really fucking good. But I never think about them until until they get brought up, and then I'm like, ooh, I need to check that out, and then nope. Always forget. Not a fan of what? Turning cutscenes into like a mini movie? Rather experience it yourself playing the game. Oh, I mean, that's totally fair. Totally fair. But I'm not a big gamer. And I know there's a lot of games with some dope ass stories, so like it'd be fine for me, but I don't blame you for feeling that way at all. Natasha Henstridge. I don't think about her, but when I see her name, I'm right back to being 14. Well, I'm a bit older, but Outside of that, yeah, 100%. I never think about her, but when she does get brought up, damn. Yep. Right to species. Got a lot of doom ahead of you, Brooke, it would seem. A lot of doom ahead of you. All right, y'all. I am going to call it right here. Think you got you're 45. Okay, well, I'm 5 years older than you, so that means it would put me back to 19. I was an adult chronologically. Anywho, I'm calling it. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks for helping me get everything tuned up earlier. Y'all are the dopest, and I'm ever so grateful that y'all even spend any amount of time here. That y'all enjoy your time here, that you're willing to be part of this community. Never saw a species? Thank you for that. Thank you for everything. Well, just thank you for being cool as fuck, y'all. You're a great community. I'm happy that you're here. So, excuse me. What up, Griff? What did you miss? All of it. Every damn bit of it. Here, I'll give you a quick TLDR. Superman's winning the race. Superman is crushing all right now. And the Sue Storm as leader thing is way overblown. And then, the usual random shit that comes up. That's all you really need to see out of Species, honestly. As a cinematic feature, not that good. As something to watch for, like, a magnificently built and gorgeous woman naked. It has a great plot. Sure. Yeah, me too, Griff. When's yours? Mine's October. All right, looks like I'm hanging out for a couple more minutes. You motherfucker. I hit that shit in October. Free on Tubi. What, Species? Okay. I'll probably get drunk on stream. Maybe not. What the fuck day of the week is it? I don't even know. Oh, November. You're a month younger than me. Fuck you. All right. Okay. Really mean it this time. So, once again, thank you guys for being awesome. Please hit any buttons you need to. Everyone, the like button. Anyone who is not a subscriber, the subscribe button and the bell. Also, join the Discord. I'm sure now that I brought it up, someone will toss the link in the chat. It is also in the description of this video and in the channel description. So there are multiple ways to get it. So, thank you. We will be back this Saturday night at 9, as usual, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, hope to see y'all then. Have a great rest of your week. I love y'all. I really, really do. Bye-bye. Happy birthday, Brennan! Just turned 49. Okay, well, you get to you'll get to join us next year. Well, then we'll still be a year older. Anyway, you know what I mean. But hey, happy birthday, bro! I hope you had a good one. I hope y'all had a good stream. Had a good time in this here stream. I did. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope I was at least mildly entertaining. And I hope to see y'all back here Saturday at 9. Thanks for being here.